If you're not doing this the moment early park admission begins at Epic Universe, you're already behind. The lines explode within minutes, and not making the right move can cost you hours of wait time. In this video, we're going to be going over our top tips and strategies for getting the most out of early park admission at Universal Epic Universe. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome if it's your first time here. We recently stayed at Helios Grand, which gave us the opportunity to take advantage of early park admission. So the first half of this video is going to be a vlog showing you what that experience was like for us, but make sure you stick around until the end of the video because we're going to be giving you our best tips and strategies so that you can get the most out of the 1 hour that you have. So if you're coming in from Helios, this is where you will come in. In the morning, they let people kind of queue up and go in, not early, but they allow you to at least come outside and be here a little bit early. And then you have your own separate path into Epic Universe, which is so cool. Like, the hotel is right here and the park is just right over there. So we are officially inside of the park. We came across this sign over here that tells us what's open for early park admission and which way to go. So Super Nintendo World, Constellation Carousel, Dark Universe, and Stardust Racers are all available during EPA. So like I said, it is about 9:15 and everybody runs over to Super Nintendo World during early park admission. So that's like the big thing to do. Everyone goes to Donkey Kong, everyone's trying to get on Mario Kart. So I think we're gonna skip over that for now. And Dark Universe is open. They just added it a couple of days ago to early park admission. So we're gonna try and get on both Monsters Unchained as well as Curse of the Werewolf.
When we were watching from our window, we saw people absolutely sprinting towards Ministry of Magic, which is not open for early park entry, but they're just gonna wait there until it opens because that is usually the longest line in the park.
Dark Universe is open for early park entry, but they did let in the day guests to just kind of queue up. They don't let them in until 10. So the early park entry has its own separate line right over here. All right, here we go, heading into Dark Universe. This is nice. There's nobody going in but us.
This is so cool. I love this.
This is awesome.
This will just never get old.
No, never gets old. Check out the early mornings in Darkmoor. Wow, this is a great time to come if you just want to just enjoy the atmosphere, maybe take some pictures. There is nobody around. Obviously, people are heading towards the rides, but check out the vibe. Darkmoor is alive. So there are two attractions over here in Dark Universe. There's Curse of the Werewolf, which is a roller coaster. There's also Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment. Monsters loads very efficiently, and the wait time during the day usually doesn't get like crazy high, whereas Curse of the Werewolf doesn't load as efficiently, and that usually has a longer wait time. So the first ride that we do here in Dark Universe is gonna be Curse of the Werewolf. So that was awesome. It was a straight walk-on. It was posted a 5-minute wait. I didn't wait at all. I got right onto row 10 and got to ride. It's a fun ride. It's really short though, but it is fun. And if you have enough spinning on it, it really makes it a lot more thrilling. And that was a spinny ride for sure. So ride number 2 is gonna be Monsters Unchained. Are you ready to head into the manor so early in the morning?
This is probably my favorite ride in all of the park, so I am really excited.
Were you able to help Dr. Victoria?
Yes, I think so. That is by far like my favorite ride. I love it so much. I swear every time I go on it, I either hear something new, I see something new. There's so much to look at. There were a few things that weren't working just now. The big like mummy that swings his arm down at you, he was just not moving. Dracula still isn't flying at the end, which stinks because that is like one of the coolest parts when he like kind of like swings towards you, and that hasn't worked for a while.
We've
like,
only
he only
seen
moves
it
like a little bit, and he doesn't like he just doesn't fly anymore.
Yeah, we only saw it that one time when we came like for our first ever preview.
Yeah, I really hope that they can fix that and it doesn't just stay like that because I feel like that's like one of the coolest parts. But yeah, some of the things weren't working, but it's still so awesome. And I did see Jack in the tree this time.
You did?
Yeah, so I saw Jack and Chance.
All right, we are making our way out of Dark Universe now. We just have a few minutes before the general public is let in, so I think we're gonna maybe do the Constellation Carousel. All right, so ride number 3 during early park admission is in the books. We rode Constellation Carousel. Took a little bit longer. They had a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
So we waited like a good 15 minutes in that line, but we were able to do 3 rides during early park admission. Now, we are also here with our daughter, so we have a stroller, we have a baby, we kind of have to tag team these types of things. So this isn't like the best strategy for early park admission. We just wanted to show you kind of what you can do during this time period, and we were able to get 3 of the 11 attractions done, which is good.
And I'm sure if you don't have a baby and like you don't have to like tag team it like we just said, you could probably get even more done.
Yeah, or if you want to like do rider switch and kind of like, you know, ride the same attraction, it's going to take you a little bit longer because each person gets to ride, so it's like double the amount of time. So I think the move right now, based on what they have available for early park admission, is you go to Super Nintendo World, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're staying at the Helios, you're kind of further away than everybody else from Super Nintendo because other park guests get let in like through the main entrance, so they're a little bit closer. But in terms of like ride wait times, that's the place you want to go first. If you want to do Donkey Kong Minecart Madness, that's like a 2-hour wait right now, and the park just opened a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Mario Kart is like an 1.5-hour wait, so those are the places to go if you want to like knock out some of the big rides with long waits.
Yeah, I would agree, yeah. And this is a nice perk, like the early park admission for all hotel guests, not just Helios, but any of the on-property Universal hotels, you are able to do early park admission, which is a really nice perk because, like we said, you could get in an hour before everybody else and kind of knock out some of the big, like longer wait times, or rides.
Yeah, and like Alex said, it doesn't matter what hotel you're staying at. If you're at the Helios Grand, paying $900 a night, you get it. If you're staying at like Aventura or Cabana Bay, paying a lot less, you also get it. Everyone has the same access to early park admission as long as you're staying at a Universal hotel. All right, early park admission is up. Regular guests are in the park. We haven't eaten breakfast yet, so we're gonna grab a quick little something over here at the Oak and Star Tavern. Just a couple of little side dishes and we'll see how it is. So like I said, we just wanted to get a couple of sides. So we got 2 sides of scrambled eggs, and then Alex got the cheddar biscuits. And I've heard really good things about like their breakfast items, so we'll have to come back one day and like try the sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah, like not just the sides, like the actual like breakfast entrees I heard are really good.
All right, welcome back to the office. First of all, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Now we're gonna talk about what I think are some of the best strategic tips for early park admission at Epic Universe. Now, we didn't do these ourselves on the day that we had the opportunity to do it, but our friends that we were there with did, and it worked out great for them. So first and foremost, the number 1 tip we can give you if you're interested in this attraction is go right to Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. This ride is a really low capacity and the wait times are pretty long throughout the entire day. Now, Ministry of Magic is not open yet. That's the biggest ride in the park in terms of wait times. But right there, neck and neck with it, sometimes even more, is Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. So if you want to ride this ride, I highly recommend as soon as you get in the park, go right into Super Nintendo World and queue up for Donkey Kong. Now, another tip that I'll give you is don't go through the main warp pipe entrance for Super Nintendo World. There's an escalator that's going to bring you up, and yes, it is really cool if you've never done it before, but then once you get out of Princess Peach's castle, you have to go back down the escalator again to get over to Donkey Kong Country. But there's a side entrance, it's just to the left of the Nintendo store, right by Pizza Moon. Go in that way so you can kind of bypass everybody on the escalators and get to Donkey Kong a little bit quicker. Now, where we go after Donkey Kong is kind of a personal preference, but if we're doing this in terms of knocking out the longest wait times in the park, I would recommend that you go to Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. This is another ride that has very long wait times throughout the day, and you have the chance during early park admission, if you're one of the first people on Donkey Kong, to also get on Mario Kart right after that and knock out 2 really long wait times. Yes, both of these rides have single rider lines, so in theory, you can do them a little bit later in the day, but they're not always open, and the single rider line for these attractions moves pretty slow. So I would recommend if you get off Donkey Kong and it's like 8:15, 8:20, even 8:30, go right to Mario Kart, get that out of the way, and there's a chance you can get 2 of the biggest waits in the park done before the park even opens to the general public. Now, say you're done with Mario Kart and it's just about 9 o'clock, this is where personal preference really comes in. Do you want to head over to the Wizarding World and queue up for Battle at the Ministry? That's what a lot of people are going to do. And given the fact that that ride sometimes does go down, it's not the worst of ideas. So if you want to do that, that's all up to you. Another thing that has a really long wait time throughout the day is the Toothless meet and greet over in How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. If that's something you're interested in, I would recommend doing that before you even queue up for Battle at the Ministry, because the Toothless line is like always at least 75 minutes and it moves really, really slow. It's also like basically in direct sunlight and you're going to be dying of heat if you do this during the summer. So if meeting Toothless is on your list of things to do after you leave Super Nintendo World, I would probably just head right over to Isle of Berk and wait for them to let you in there, because Isle of Berk is not part of early park admission, and then you'll be one of the first people to meet Toothless and you can get that out of the way. And just to be clear, Battle at the Ministry is not open at all during early park admission. As a matter of fact, the entire portal isn't open. So it's not like you can go into the Wizarding World and just kind of linger outside of Potter. You can't even get into the portal. The same goes for How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. Now, in this video, we obviously went to Dark Universe first, and that's because we had a little bit of a later jump. But like I mentioned, the friends that we were with were able to get on Donkey Kong, they were able to get on Mario Kart, and they were done shortly after early park admission, even with some downtime on Donkey Kong. So if you're looking to get long waits out of the way, Super Nintendo World is where you want to go first, and make sure you take the side entrance so that you bypass everybody on the escalators. So that's going to do it for this video. We hope you found it helpful if you are planning your early park admission strategy for Epic Universe. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it, but again, I highly recommend that you go to Donkey Kong first. It generally has like a 2-hour wait at any point during the day, so that is the thing you want to take care of and get that out of the way so that it frees up the rest of your day for Epic Universe. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below so you don't miss out on all of our Epic Universe videos to come. And with that being said, we'll see you guys real soon.